these three would pick who's going to just preside over the meeting, or, you know.
I'd say no, because Jim, you just sat down and I said, are you the supervisor tonight? And then you just said yes, or whatever.
Just by that, because I have most cumulative.
Oh, okay, I thought it was during this board, I didn't know it was past, you know.
The position.
Huh?
The position, not just elected office, but I mean, he's been in this position 6 years before, and then.
Anyway, I'm not gonna argue with it. So we'll talk about it another time if this ever is a problem moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a roll call.
Trustee Stack,
Present.
Trustee Cox,
Here.
Trustee Hopkins.
Here.
Absent.
Okay, now I'm gonna make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion. Oh, wait, I wanna make a motion that, we turn the chair over to Dan tonight.
Okay.
He's got a second.
I guess I'll second it. I mean, why don't you just run it?
Right, I mean, because you're gonna have to just run the meeting.
Yeah, that's what you want. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I wanna go through. Roll call.
Hold on, I see Jack's look on his face. I don't wanna be doing something that's not right here,
So they can do this, and you can do this, anyone can do this. There's no real rules on how to have like an interim or.
Right, and you need 3 votes for something to pass.
Yeah, because it's not the supervisor, it's just whoever's presiding over the
So
meeting.
who's the supervisor right now?
Okay, to pass this, it takes only 2 or 3, but to spend money, you'll need the full 3. So for you guys to approve budgets tonight, regardless of who's presiding, to pass budgets, to pay bills, you're gonna need 3 votes.
No, I understand that. Okay, I just wanna make sure that you're comfortable with everything you're putting forward.
Yeah, I mean, this functions the same. I mean, it makes really no difference who presides over the meeting in this particular instance.
Motion on the floor.
Second
Motion by Jim, second by Dan.
Roll call.
Trustee Stack,
Aye.
Trustee Cox,
Abstain.
Trustee Hopkins.
it? Yes.
I'm just gonna turn this over to you.
I'm just gonna sit here.
That's fine with me.
Not necessary. All right. You just wanna stay there? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes.
Okay.
Motion? You have questions?
I'll let it go since he's not here. I'll second.
Okay, second it, vote. Vote.
Jim,
Yes.
Trustee Stack,
Yes.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins.
Yes. Okay, public comments. Anybody from this side of the room?
Comments?
Good.
Yeah, I'll go.
We'll do this side of the room first, and then we'll do the other side.
Okay, we need a-
Clint Ball, Collinsville. Just a couple quick ones tonight. First off, I work out of my house and everything, so I'm by here quite a bit. And I have noticed in the past couple weeks, it seems like there's a lot more vehicles and everything. I don't have any facts, data, or number, but I did ask Brandon before the meeting started, and attendance appeared to be up a little bit and consistent, and I think it has been, and he kind of confirmed that assumption of mine. Congratulations, keep up the good work, I think that's great. Harken back to last month's meeting about having receipts for the expenses and the approvals without having them prior to the meeting for review and stuff. I just took a quick peek over on Collinsville City's website to see how they might have handled that type of stuff as far as the transparency thing is concerned. And it appears that they put links of PDFs for all the receipts and the payroll out actually in the agenda prior to the meetings. With today's technology, that seems pretty reasonable and pretty simple to do. I would love to see it happen at the township level. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else from this side of the room?
Can I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh,
She's on the agenda.
Oh, you're on,
Just so you know, you can speak, but you're also on the
Should I
agenda
wait?
separate.
please.
Okay,
You're with Empty Bowl, right?
Right.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, just hang tight, you got your
Just let
own,
me know when I'm
you got your own
ready.
special line.
Just let
Okay.
me know.
Anybody on this side?
Yes, he wants.
Brad?
No, I'm good.
No.
We're all good.
Brad? No? Anybody from that side of the room like to speak?
Oh, I do.
All right.
I'll go up to
Step to the podium, please, state your name.
Eileen Welly,
Okay.
and I'm a senior citizen that has been enjoying this township senior citizens building for a few years now. And I can see how it's improved so greatly in the last month, and especially with our exercises, the chair exercises. I used to have so many pains in my legs and all over my back and everything. And everything's just so improved, and I'm just so shocked. You never have one exercise session the same. You just keep working on new places, and just really love to have Brandon do it. And I love to have our tops here. We have a wonderful room, and the place is always nice and ready for us. And our little cook over there, I never can think of her name.
Cinda.
She's darling as she can be.
We know.
She'll always have a cup of coffee for us. And I never was involved with the senior citizen building till just the last couple of years. And I just dearly love it now. If something happened to these programs, I would be lost. And then the crafts, I love crafts, and you learn all the different things with that. And when we get a band, it's wonderful. I love that.
Okay.
What else?
Awesome.
Oh, and the fingernails, everything you guys present.
I must have missed that, sorry.
Fix our fingernails. What's some of the other things on the list, girls?
And I like it the way you posted in the paper, the Story Times Tribune.
Right.
You know, I get that, so I can go ahead and check, see what the food is and what's on the schedule for the month.
They do that as a
But-
courtesy to us.
I
Yeah,
really
right.
appreciate this senior citizens building, I really, really do. And like the Valentine's party that's coming up, I wanna tell my friends about it. It's someplace you can invite these old senior citizens, pull them out of the chair. Nobody's got much going at a certain age, you just kinda missing out on life almost, and this is such a cheery, happy place. And I can't imagine it without the present administration that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody's been here before. I can't say a crooked word, but it's so much better right now.
We appreciate your input. Thank you.
I know you. Yes, you do.
Anybody else?
I would. Oh my God.
Well, at least they wait until you're sitting down.
Diane Maslowski.
Oh, hey, man.
Just wanted to put a bug in your ear, if you would, for Brandon. He is doing an excellent job for us. He's very attentive to us. He listens to our suggestions. If they pan out, that's fine, and if they don't, it's just as fine. But he tries, and he does listen and pay attention to us. He's a good instructor, and he's always just willing to listen to what we have to say about any activity or anything that we want presented to us. So I just wanted to tell you, thank you for hiring him. Keep him for a very long time. It's a hard job with us because we change.
No comment.
He stops and figures out if somebody's having a pain somewhere or they got a bad shoulder. He'll say, now you just sit back
Okay.
on this and I'll tell you what you can do. He's kind of like a personal trainer. Unbelievable. If you haven't been there, you need to come if you're old enough.
Ma'am, go right ahead.
Rosemary Hamilton.
Okay.
I would like to say that this is the nicest senior center of any of the 7 that I've been to, of the cities around here. And it's just a pleasure to come here. But I want to say how much it has helped me. I have osteoporosis in my shoulders and my back, my spine. And I was not able to stand up without taking my hands to help push myself up. And Brendan taught us to do this. You hold something here in front, and then you can stand up. And now I can stand up without help. So I'm just so glad to be in that chair exercise thing. Also, I've got to say, I feel safe with Brendan here. I was here one time when there was a man came in. He was a very tall man, and he went back to the kitchen, and Cinda said, "I'm sorry, I can't serve you because I can't give you food because you're drinking." And she said, "I'm not allowed to give food if you're drinking." And he called her every ugly name in the book. And Al came and began to try to urge him to get out. Very nicely, Al was so kind and soft-spoken. And he finally said, "I've got to call the police if you don't go." And he did, and 2 policemen and 1 police lady came. And Al had the heart attack, I think either before that or right after that. And I just felt like that kind of contributed to it. And I just feel like that if somebody came in and started to harm us, I think Brandon could hold his own with them and get rid of them, you know. And he does it nicely. He's such a kind and soft-spoken person. I just hope he stays forever.
Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Phyllis Kessler. I want to just say ditto to everything what all the other ladies have said, but I go to all of the other senior centers. I go to Edwardsville, Granite City, PSOP, and Belleville, and I will have to say, thank you Township of cleaning this place up. For when I first came here in 2013, it was very old looking, dilapidated looking, there was stuff everywhere. And thank you for cleaning it up and giving it a new face. And now when I go to these places, matter of fact, a lot of these other senior centers did not even know we had a senior center. They said, "Council's got one." I said, "Yeah, it's been there forever," and they did not know it. Now they do because I've got a big mouth. And I tell them that, and I tell them about because exercise will get people to come. Believe it or not, we've got some coming from Glen Carbon, we've had some coming from Belleville here. So yes, that is a good way to get the door open. I appreciate the additional activities he's bringing in, so thank you again for hiring him.
Thank you.
I can't wait to get old now.
Yeah, come on, darling, come on.
Anybody else? Thank you for your input. Next item is the reports by officers, committees, or special committees. Derek?
Sure. Brandon, congratulations, you got you a fan club. No, seriously. No, it's...
I'm like sitting over here just blushing. Just I did not tell them to say that.
No,
The thing is, I've been asking him.
No, the thing is, I can tell that they're all genuine and they mean what they say, and they wouldn't be here. So, thank you so much for doing this. It sounds like things are really going good, and like I mentioned, out in the parking lot. I think all of us have to do, and I think you're on board with this, doing a good job to get the word out to the public about all the services that we now do, you know, and maybe it's once a quarter or whatever you want to do, maybe just make a little presentation and we'll get it out online or whatever, but thank you so much, you know, and just for everybody to know, yeah, I'm proud of this center. Right when I got on the board, it's come a long way, you know. We had a leaking roof, all new, you know, so we've done a lot of improvements. We have new equipment, and some's been helped by this grant that we're now getting, and we can get more of that. So I just want to, here's what I did want to mention to Miss Willie, I think still here, and to everybody, any ideas that you ever have, just make sure you give them to him, and then make sure they get to us. And just like I told you the first night that I met you, bring them to the board or Terry or whoever, and let's try to get them done, you know. And
I appreciate it. Yeah, I just, after the end of my class, I just said, you know, I've watched most of the, you know, the film footage for each monthly meeting. And I said, I don't think there's ever seniors there. And they said, no. I go, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, you know, you girls and guys, you can't really talk if you're not there. So I said, your vote, you know, so you need to start
Yeah.
showing up to meetings.
So it's just, because I just believe that the senior center, and I've said this since day one, and Dan, you guys, you know this, I just think the senior center is probably the most important thing that the township does. Because when my grandpa was still here, when I first started the board, it just, sometimes that age group is forgotten, and there's not a lot to do, you know, so I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the center. That's all I got right now.
I ditto, basically, I think Brandon's done a very good job. Everybody I've ever talked to and people that are here, he does a fantastic job. And I hope that he can continue, he will. So I appreciate you, Brandon, and all you've done for us seniors.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Okay.
All right, well, I'd like to thank you, Brandon. I need to know how much you paid them all, so I can have the same thing.
I'm broke, so not much.
I just need to know the dollar amount, so I can get that for next meeting. Kinda cool, but I'm just saying. I know, just in speaking with Brandon and with Cinda, they have like, I think they got another band they're gonna have for like once a month. It's a new band, an additional band, or not?
Once a month,
But just-
maybe 3-4 times a year.
Okay, but they have an extra.
For the
band.
Valentine's Day.
Right, it's for the Valentine's dance, but we're adding another band, because I know those are very popular, and then, he's in the process, he's got some prices for yoga, so I think, he's gonna try and get that locked up.
I'm trying to keep it in Collinsville.
Yeah, once a week
Mayville.
yoga class on Wednesdays during the day. The nighttime classes are, you know, there's other places like the library has that, so if we can offer just some variety here, that's good. And then, while I have the attention of everybody, we're always looking for volunteers to call bingos. Is it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays? So if you're not doing nothing, 1 o'clock on those days, talk to Brandon. He'll be glad to have you volunteer to call bingo, and he'll even show you how the machine works. You can do it with pride. So, all right, we'll move on. Approval of bills.
The general assistance is $8,525.56.
Okay, motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Stack?
Aye.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Road and Bridge General is $69,567.97. Road and Bridge Permanent is $5,165.35. Road and Bridge Social Security and Medicare is $7,392.50. Road and Bridge IMRF is $3,346.17. The total is $85,471.99.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Stack. Second by Cox. Roll call vote?
Trustee Stack?
Aye.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Road and Bridge Equipment, there is none. Town Fund, the Town General is $37,638.33. Town IMRF is $5,640.16. Town Social Security and Medicare is $6,622.19. And the Town Pauper Fund is $144.06. The total is $50,044.74.
Motion moved. So moved by Mr. Stack.
I got a couple questions.
Okay.
Since Ms. Jackson's here, that'd be great. I tried to look at all the bills, and I appreciate getting them this time. This $12,000 health care one, and I couldn't quite find where that was, just in general, what is that?
It's our monthly amount.
Oh, so it's all together
It's
for all the employees?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing it just, so a lot of times we'll have bills, and I guess we're paying back some employees. You'll see this employee, that employee. To me, it's, I don't know if the word is dangerous, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense why, because in a lot of places, maybe the township has its own credit card. Why should, say, Cinda, for example, go to the store, spend her own money, and then ask for reimbursement, and then it's us, the taxpayers?
Most of those that are on there, Derek, are reimbursement for their health care that they get reimbursed for. There's travel and there's training for the assessor's office. Several of those this time were.
Right, I saw that. I saw about $6,000, and that's another, again, that's for another time. I'm not really, Mr. Paletti's not here, I guess I could ask him at the annual meeting, but to me, it's a little overkill that we send all these employees up every year, give them a hotel for the week, and is there online classes that we can do? I would just like to know more about that. I don't know if you saw in there some of the bills, but I just.
I can't answer that.
Right, no, I know, and so I just.
I'm not gonna speak for Pete, but I know every job, like attorneys, accountants, they have to have CEU hours every year. Continuing education.
It's
So,
30?
Yeah, whatever it is, I'm just saying. I think that's the thing. And I mean, I know there is a credit card, they do have a credit card up there, but this is just an accounting. I mean, they might have used a credit card for some of these things, but this is the ledger of what, of everything they paid out. It breaks it down.
Every single expense.
Well, I thought.
It's every single expense.
Right,
we
but
have.
no, some of it is that employee that we're paying back, like you're on there a lot of times. And I just think, maybe you guys disagree, I just think it would be better if they used the township's money and then,
Derek, we're reimbursing employees for their health care that they.
I'm not talking about healthcare. I'm talking about if Cinda goes to Home Depot and buys $300 worth of stuff, and then she comes back and tells you, hey, I bought $300 worth of stuff, I need reversed.
And she has to present those receipts. She just doesn't get the money unless she presents the bill.
I understand. I would rather have a township, or like, Larry's folks, they do that. They use their own account. I never see Larry's employees on there that we have to reimburse. So that's just my feeling. I don't know what the board feels.
I just think it's safer, because you know what, if I have an expense and I'm gonna be reimbursed for it, I would rather have our employees doing that personally than give them credit cards. I think we've seen around this area what credit cards and employees can have.
Right, I mean, I don't think it's good for the employees to.
But even with like a Home Depot or a Sam's card, those need to be limited. So I mean, I think it's best that we can analyze the receipt rather than analyze the bills after the money's already spent. You see what I'm saying? You give them the township credit card to go spend it with, by the time you catch it, when they submit a receipt, they have to submit every one. So if someone was going to abuse that.
No, I know, I saw it last year, I mean, with personal stuff on there, and I don't like that,
I see your point, but I'm more comfortable with them submitting the receipts, because then they have to, they have to justify it every time.
So I think it answers some, like, a lot of it is health insurance, and then a lot of travel, travel
Yes.
expenses.
Yes.
Right. We need a second on the motion.
Oh, I thought you were on second.
I didn't second it.
For this, I do want to know on the town funds, we ask for receipts and.
You get every receipt we have, a copy of it.
Not here tonight.
Not here tonight.
It's emailed to you.
Yeah.
Each trustee has the invoices directly emailed to them, along with a register that has the date, the check number, the vendor, and the amount that the expense went to. And then there's a worksheet that has a summary on it. So.
Yeah. I can actually open this now.
But do you understand where I'm coming from with, because it's hard to follow, you got 60 pages. I ran out of ink, we have 60 pages, and let's just use her for example. It's not, I don't know if this is you. What I'm saying is if you have an employee that says, okay, we owe her $300, now I gotta go find out and track down out of 60 pages of receipts, where did the 300 go? And
Derek, I usually try to put the check stub with it so you know what the check number is. And if you look on your check register, it has the check number. So you should be able to go by the check number along with that.
All right, we have a motion and a second?
Second.
I haven't got a second yet.
Okay. Who made the motion? Jim?
Jim.
Oh, okay, I'll second it. Roll call vote.
Trustee Stack?
Aye.
Trustee Cox?
yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Township Senior Center. The Township Senior Center building is $3,510.89. The Township Senior Center lunch is $4,048.67. The total is $7,559.56.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Stack. Roll call.
Trustee Stack?
Aye.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes. Correspondence. Thank you note from Gary Bogard. Is that in our packet? You want to read it?
I can read it. Says, just wanted to thank you for your thoughtful gift at Christmas. The gift card was much appreciated. Gary Bogard.
Okay. And a letter from the Illinois Labor Relations Board regarding the assigned contract number. I assume that's just filing the contract for the bargaining units with this labor board, is that correct?
I have not seen the letter, I have no idea.
Okay.
In your packet.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yep,
Yeah, they're required to file that
which is
with
the
the labor.
contract that's on file.
All right. Moving on, unfinished business. Phase 1 environmental site assessment. It's here tonight. There's 2 copies there. If somebody wants to look at it, either after the meeting. We can also have it available at the office, township offices, if you want to take a look at it. They're supposed to be starting the phase 2, because they recommend the phase 2, because of the history of that property. There was a dry cleaners, there was a dentist in there. It's all in there in the.
If you could maybe just give me a quick overview of what
Well,
it says.
I can read what they wrote, because I'm.
No, I'm not, no, I'm just saying,
I've read it.
You've
I've
read
talked
it,
to
talked to them?
Yeah.
Just in layman's terms, just what does it say?
Well, what they're gonna, let me find the section, because they're going to, essentially what they did was, they did a historical study on it, and the past businesses that were in there, and they found dry cleaners, a dentist, and that the fact that it's not, it wasn't a finished demolition, as finished as, normal. They're recommending we do a phase 2. They're gonna do 4 borings, and then I forget how much, they're gonna trench, dig down with a backhoe, like 6 different spots, and see what, take samples of different building materials that are buried there, and then have them tested. So, that's the phase 2, and then they'll test it. They'll test soil too.
So, there's a few things. First, if anybody doesn't understand what we're talking about, it's this empty lot next door. We've been trying to get it for the seniors to have a place to park. We were able to get a grant, pay for the incomplete lot, but that was not voted on because there was concerns that the soil was contaminated. So we did the state phase 1 study. My question is, how much is this phase 2? And well, first, let's start with that. How much is the phase 2?
Between 8 and 12,000.
8 and 12,000. And my other concern is, because we had the letter from the city saying we're all for it, blacktop it.
They never said that, but they never said that. They said they just said that they had a demolition permit and they had a asbestos abatement report for 1 address. If you read this, there's 4 addresses there. So technically, whoever did the demolition probably didn't do the demolition correctly, and they didn't do an asbestos abatement for each address. There's 4 separate buildings there. 1 building, 4 businesses, 4 separate units.
I understand.
And
I'm just going by what Collinsville told me.
Yeah. But see, I don't even know if the people you talked to at the city, whether it be Derek Jackson or who you talked to, knew that there's 4 separate addresses there. I just knew from my old job that I knew there was 4 addresses.
So my concern is that now we're going to spend, because now we're going to spend $8,000 to $10,000 of taxpayer dollars, okay, to test this land. Hypothetically, what happens if there is something wrong?
Then we have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
So my next question, because we're opening up a big can of worms for something that I didn't think that was ever going to be this difficult. We got a grant to buy the land. I was told that you know, I mean, if there was something in there, if there was like asbestos or whatever that Mr. Foley was claiming, that you blacktop over it, it's a parking lot, you move forward. I'm just giving you my overall, just general. My fear is, because then now it's been mentioned that there could have been oil that leaked under this building, and that if they find something, then what? We're not on the hook, are we? When we spend this money, what do we have in writing?
What we're paying for is we're not gonna buy a piece of property that puts us on the hook.
I understand that, but I guess.
We're not on the hook, because we discover it in the process of doing our due diligence and purchasing a piece of real estate. If we discover it before we make the purchase, we could walk away from we could do one of two things. We could walk away from the purchase and just say, this property is non-conforming and we won't take it in its current condition. Or they can, the property owner can't abate it and still.
So what do we have in writing from the property owner?
We don't have much. We have permission to test the property.
To test his property. And so I guess my fear is, again, if we find something, like I already said, the city of Collinsville and this demolition crew, they're the ones that have some answering to do. But my fear is, I'm just thinking as just a general Collinsvillian, okay? Now what's gonna happen? Now it's gonna sit there, empty, nothing going on, with, I guess, asbestos in the ground forever, and then there's gonna be lawsuits, taxpayers are gonna be getting sued, it's gonna cost a ton of money. What is the plan?
Taxpayers don't bear any responsibility.
Sure they are. If the city of Collinsville gets sued.
It's privately owned property. It's owned by a single individual. That single individual, by not doing his due diligence, or allowing this to happen on his own individual property, bears the responsibility. The city nor the township bears any responsibility for this. The price of the abatement will be placed on the individual property owner.
I mean,
Not ours.
The reason we're doing this is so we don't buy a liability. If you know what, I hope that we do the phase 2 and they find nothing, and we can proceed to try to buy it.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I really do. I hope they find nothing. But on the other hand, I don't want to put the taxpayers' dollars at risk getting a free lot that might have a $500,000 to $1 million abatement sitting there that we would be on the hook for if we would have bought that lot without having it tested. We are doing the proper due diligence to purchase property. And the people that this company that did this for us, Tetra Tech, told me there was a gentleman over in St. Louis that bought some properties and didn't have any done, and they were former dry cleaners. I don't need to tell you, he's on the hook for all of it.
I guess my fear is, it's been mentioned on this board by not one, but 2 trustees, that the price is too high. If we're doing all this, and then at the end of the day, they don't find anything, what's gonna be the next excuse? That's my fear, huh?
Not for me, there won't be one.
Well, but we need more than just you and I. I mean, so that's my point is, I don't wanna be spending money, taxpayer money, that if we don't find anything, that's fine, and we get the lot and I can go get that grant again, that's great. But my point is, if we spend all this and then the end result is this board's just gonna vote it down again, we're just wasting. And if they do find something, then it's just gonna be a big mess.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
for everybody.
First of all, we never voted on it. So second of all, we're discussing the phase 1 assessment. So.
Right, and so will there be a phase 3?
We're getting into, no, there won't be a phase 3.
No, there can't.
No, there's only a phase 1 and phase 2. So, there isn't?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it could go
The
on
phase
and
3
on and
would be
on.
the actual.
If there's a problem.
The actual.
Yeah, that would be the
We're not
actual
paying for
abatement.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, but then,
Yeah.
may I speak?
No, I'm not the
That's
supervisor
that's just
tonight.
yeah.
So,
But but I'm gonna read the rest of this, complete the report that's on the agenda. It just says they're going to do trenches, excavate with a backhoe, and they're gonna assess the site fill material, 10 feet in length, 5 to 10 feet in depth. Soil samples will be collected by 4 boring locations. If they hit groundwater, they're gonna put well points in and take groundwater samples too. Soil samples will be collected from each boring, and they're going to test them for hydrocarbons, arsenic, barium, cadmium, chromium, lead, mercury, but and a bunch of other VOCs. I'm not going to try to pronounce some words, but that's what phase 2 will conduct. I mean, if there's find nothing, I will be happy, and I think that the rest of the board will be happy to get that lot, because
And-
we all know we need it.
Right, and so my last thing is that, has anybody asked the question, if they do find something, what is the remedy?
Well, it depends what they find, first of all. I mean, if they find like lead paint on some of the wood, they gotta remove all the stuff that they, the building material that's in there. I mean, but I think if they find mercury in the water, groundwater, that's a bigger deal. I mean, and I'm not an environmental.
I'm not either, I'm just asking what the.
But you know what, my thought is, we take it one step at a time, okay? We did this to see what they recommended the phase 2.
I'm just saying, I didn't know if you'd asked. I didn't know, because what I was told.
There's a remediation.
I was just told that it's a parking lot, you seal it in, you put blacktop on it. That's what I was told.
Well,
And so I'm just telling you what I was told. So.
Whoever told you that didn't know what they were talking about. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, like the lot we bought next to the.
Did they do a phase 2?
They did a phase 1, phase 2, and they paved it, all at their cost.
That's great.
And our cost was about 87,000?
No,
92, 94.
92, yeah.
Well, 92 with 6,000 taken off for something we paid for at the closing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that's what we're saying. They did all that. This gentleman doesn't want to pay for anything. And we sure as heck don't want to put ourselves, I know banks I used to do a lot of studies, that people would give them back their building. Say, here, you take this gas station, you take this. And it ended up costing them millions and millions of dollars to abate that problem.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I have,
You know what?
And
Feel free to
the
take my-
phase 2 will tell us.
Yeah, because one of the things they talked about, there was the gas station on the corner.
Yes.
And apparently this was a gas station too. So they're looking at both of those. They're both concerned across the street, and they're concerned about the one on the end of the block. I mean, it's no secret, it's in their report.
I know, and that's what scares me. So if they find something, then you were on record already saying that it went under this building, and that's what scares me.
No, I just said that this building was a car dealership before. There could be something under our building, but they're not gonna make us do anything to our building. They're gonna stop at our property line. Okay? That's how that works. I've already asked that question. Move on to new business. Keep that one. Discuss and vote Council Women's Club Empty Bowl fundraiser. Now, thank you.
We should have moved you up, girl.
Yeah, that's right.
You miss all the fun though.
I know, I couldn't miss this, right? Okay, I want to thank everybody on the board that's here, because I tell you what, last year, your donation of $2,500 at the Empty Bowl was a great donation, and we appreciate it immensely. By doing your donations, we were able to give the food pantry a check for $15,643 that we did at the Empty Bowl. And it helped a great deal that you, as the township, gave us a check for the $2,500. We greatly appreciate that, because all our funds go towards the actual food pantry, which is much needed. And I'm requesting, if at all possible, I would love for y'all to donate again the $2,500 like you did last year, made out to Councilwoman's Club. And last year, y'all came on stage and we did a presentation of the check, which was great. I know a lot of y'all were up there, and so we would love for you to do it again. So my position is I would like for you to approve the $2,500.
Any questions?
Yeah, what's the date of the event?
February the 26th, and it's from 11 to 2. I have tickets here tonight. Anybody that would like to be interested in going, I have tickets with me. So it's $10. You can try 40-some different soups, sample soups, and then buy. If there's one you really like, then you can get a bowl of soup, so you can go back as many times as you want. And we have pies too, but pies are extra. It's $10. And it's $10 and you get soup, breadsticks, and water, because our philosophy is that's a lot of times what all the homeless has. We don't think about it when we're sitting down at our meal, when we're going out to eat. We don't really think about the homeless. I never did until I got involved with this. And then I realized, wow, this is something that a lot of people, that's all they have to eat. So that's why we try to do as much as we can for the food pantry.
How many years is the Collinsville Women's Club?
This is our 8th year, and now Gateway's given us a 3rd ballroom. We're growing so much, we have over 700 people, that come all over. So they've given us a 3rd ballroom this year. But I really greatly appreciate it if the township would take into consideration of doing another $2,500 towards the Collinsville Women's Club, would be, or towards the, food pantry.
All right, Jim, any questions?
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions?
No, I just,
No.
what does this fundraiser usually raise? What is this, what is the actual empty bowl event?
When is it?
No.
What is it
Empty
actually?
bowl is to signify empty bowl.
She said 15,000 last year. You
Now,
go to.
$15,643, and of that $15,643, $2,500 came from the township, and we made a presentation on stage. There were a lot of, in fact, the papers are going to be there this year, and Troy Times Tribune, and also the photographer from the city comes and takes pictures every year. So we greatly appreciate what you do every year. You know, we really do, because it means a lot. It goes to the food pantry.
Do you have other contributors that contribute this amount?
We have some that want to become, not quite as much, but want to become anonymous. They do not want to have their name said at all. You know, they give over $1,000, but they don't want their name brought up at all. They just say, here's a check for $1,000, and you know it goes for a good cause, and so.
But people can buy a sponsorship for the program, correct?
Oh, sure. We have different, in fact, welcome, if you furnish a suit, you get a free ad, a business card ad. We have a $40 business card ad. If you don't want to furnish a suit, we have $60. It's a bigger ad, and then we have it getting about $100 and $200. $100 is half a page, $200 is a full page. So we're getting a lot of, full page ads.
Would our contribution include a full page ad, or does that separately?
If you would like to have a full page ad, we could have a full page ad for you.
I have a question, and
I would just need somebody like Vicky or somebody like that to give me how you would want it for, your ad to be.
we had discussed, and I thought it was a good idea, and I don't know if we can make it happen, but I guess we could coordinate this with Brandon, our senior citizens director. Could we get perhaps, I don't know if it's 20 tickets or something like that?
Sure.
Because what I'd like to do on that day is, we have a shuttle up here, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and I would love to make it maybe a week before, so next week, maybe during bingo or whatever, that could be part of the prize. That when they win bingo, they win tickets to the empty bowl, and we'll shuttle them down for lunch, and then they can shuttle back, gives them something to do, and gives them a free lunch. And I think you were on board with donating some tickets.
Right.
For the senior center?
Yes.
Okay.
We better check the law on that, because you can't give out more than $5 per game prize unless you're licensed bingo.
No.
Just check it. I'm serious. We're not, it's for entertainment.
What's your stance on this, do you know?
I don't know anything about bingo.
But just be- I'm just saying, because it was brought up before, someone brought it to my attention that bingo there's a limit. It's either like $3 or $5.
Of value?
Of value, yeah. Just be careful. What is the limit?
Okay,
I don't
well-
want to get Brandon thrown in the slammer.
No, I
got people that post sponsor.
Well, why don't I make like 20 tickets, if you like, some
We'll let you deal with Brandon.
Right,
I'd
maybe-
definitely be interested in.
Okay.
Yeah,
looking
maybe
further
just
into that.
get whoever's
If you
interested,
want tickets,
get them,
you can
the
just
20
let
top
them
people,
know.
figure it out.
If you can stay up till the meeting's over, I want to talk to you
Sure,
soon.
yeah, definitely.
Well, I make a motion.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
all of you.
I just
Thank you
think
very much.
if we do it, if we get an ad for our donation, I think we need to just put Collinsville Township, supervisor and board of trustees, no names.
I would just put Collinsville Township, I mean,
That's
it's,
fine.
right.
Well, just let me know how you want it.
We'll let
Yeah.
We can
We'll let
put it with
Terry
our logo.
decide.
We can put our
You can-
logo on the bottom of it, it'll be fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we donate what we did last year to the Council Women's Club for their empty bowl with that.
Okay, second? Second by Mr. Stack, roll call vote?
Trustee Stack?
Yes.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes. Next item's Road and Bridge Stormwater Report. Kathy?
Yes, every year we are required to give you a report on stormwater, just basically explaining what it is and that we are involved in it. Basically, stormwater is water that originates from precipitation events, including snow and ice melt. Stormwater can soak into the soil, be stored on the land surface in ponds and puddles, evaporate, or it can be runoff. In most runoff is conveyed directly to nearby streams, rivers, or other water bodies without treatment. And that's where part of the problem is even when you have oil that leaks, if it goes down when your car's parked and it rains, goes down a drain, that's a problem for stormwater. So basically what it's about is water quality and the matter of the amount of runoff from storm events which creates sediment and erosion. The MS4 program, which is the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, was mandated by the U.S. EPA through the Clean Water Act. Through this act, the Illinois EPA requires reporting on 6 minimum control measures, which include public education and outreach, public involvement, illicit discharge detection and elimination, construction site runoff control, post-construction runoff control, and pollution prevention and good housekeeping. Now, prior to the initial MS4 program in 2003, Madison County created a co-permittee group which consists of 25 municipalities and townships in the urbanized area of the county, and we are part of that. The purpose of this group is to be able to share resources by sharing the cost of monitoring, educational guidance, staff training, etc. The undertaking of these responsibilities alone would have created a great deal more time, effort, and cost than working together with this co-permittee. Madison County's role in stormwater is to provide technical support and guidance to the group. They organize quarterly meetings, coordinate MS4 related activities, provide periodic audits with the Illinois EPA, and help prepare and submit annual reports for each jurisdiction in the group. And they submit the notice of intents every 5 years, which outline how each member is planning to address the 6 minimum control measures each year of the 5-year permit. Not only is working with them and these other groups a savings, but it also helps with the rapport with the other municipalities and townships, which has turned out to be very useful. We call each other about problems and things that are happening. We help each other out, so it's a great program to be involved in. Now, it's my responsibility to keep the records for the stormwater requirements, and our foremans attend the quarterly meetings and seminars for the group, and then they report back to me. And I'm happy to report that we were audited this past December by the Illinois EPA, and we were in compliance with all the requirements. So they come down, they spend about 2.5 hours with us, they tour our facilities, make sure that everything there is compliant, go through all of our record keeping every year, or go through our record keeping. Not every year do we get audited, but that has to be submitted every year. So anyway, we did recently have an audit, everything was great, and it's a big job. If we had to employ somebody, I mean, there's a guy that's employed by Madison County that takes care of all this. So we would have to have somebody. It's a big, really big job that we don't notice as much because we're so helped by the county. So it's a big benefit to us to be a part of this group.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions? Sure.
You have a
Kathy,
question?
what does this cost us?
Well, it costs $1,100 a year, for to be a part of the co-permittee group, and then it costs $1,000 a year to the state for our licensing and permits.
$100 a year, that's budgeted?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's 25 groups, so it would, so it works out great.
Right. Next item is vote on the resolution of the Township Board of Trustees committing fund balances as necessitated by GASB 54 for road and bridge. It's an accounting, GASB 54 is accounting principles that's mandated by the state. Kathy, you want to explain that?
Yeah, this is for our money that we have committed for future projects. the Lebanon Road Bridge project, and then the improvements on Troy Road. They told us that we would probably be paying in this fiscal year, but that has not happened, so I am hopeful that we will be paying in the next fiscal year to get that completed. So this is the money that we have set aside for those two projects to be improved.
Which road which road?
The Lebanon Road project and the Troy Road project.
Now, the Troy Road is that piece of property from the Catholic High School to the 162, right?
Yes.
Have they talked about annexing that?
No.
Not till it's done.
Huh?
Yeah, until it's done.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, they want us to pay for it first.
well, from what I understand, the gentleman that owns the farmland there does not plan on annexing.
I heard they were planning on putting a hospital there even.
What?
I heard Glenn Carbon was even talking about doing.
They would have to get, I mean, the gentleman that's, you know, on the corner there, they don't have it all surrounded, and he's not wanting to annex in right now.
What's it gonna cost us to finish that road?
I submitted 300,000, but, realistically, I'm thinking around 240 maybe. And I know that Madison County is paying a portion of ours for us. So, you know, I'm thinking maybe around 2 to 250, you know, in that range. But we are not exactly sure with figures till it's complete.
And is there a reason we need to finish that road before any decisions are made about that rest of that corner? Because, you know, it just bothers me that we're required to finish that road, then they're gonna annex us.
No, well, can't control that.
I have no control over any of that.
No,
Right now, it's
but
council townships, I mean.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I just don't agree with it, but never mind.
Neither do I. All right.
I
so
think we should find.
This is the resolution.
Why spend my $300?
Yeah, the resolution commits $650,000 for Lebanon Road Bridge project, $300,000 for the Troy Road project. Someone like to make a motion to approve this resolution?
A motion.
Motion by Mr. Cox. Second? I'll second it.
Roll call.
This is just putting money in reserve.
We've had this debate a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I mean, this project's been.
This isn't spending the money, which we have no control over, but we have to do this to be able to put the money in reserve. But, motion on the floor, roll call.
Trustee Stack?
Reluctant aye.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes. Okay. All right, 2020 Township Government Education Network, March 7th of 2020. There's a thing in your packet here. I'm not really sure all about this. Vicki, you want to explain what this is? Or?
It's trainings from TOI.
In Springfield?
No, this takes place in.
March 7th is up in O'Fallon.
Is O'Fallon, Illinois.
You have to be ready, the deadline is 2/26, so.
Is this similar to what we did a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Yes, it's for trustees, officials, and folks that are in.
So, can anybody tell me tonight if they want to go?
What's the date on the training?
March
It's a
7th.
Saturday.
I will not, no.
I can't.
I went to the last one, and you probably have been to a couple of them.
I'm not sure. You know,
Okay.
it's.
We'll have it's announced.
Okay.
Make sure Mike gets that. Vote on the Maryville Fire Protection District vacant trustee position.
No.
What?
The 2020 Township Government Education, that's a different thing, on April 1st.
That's in Springfield.
Oh, these are
That's
separate.
the Topics Day, and
Okay. All right, well.
the deadline on that's March 21st,
well, it's in
25th,
our
if anybody
packet.
wants to go.
For the trustees, it's in our packets. So, okay. All right, then Maryville Fire Protection District vacant trustee position. We have a letter from Eric Hartline, he's requesting to be appointed to another 3-year term. He's a current trustee. He's been on the board since 1985, and there's a letter from the Fire Protection District Secretary. I guess that's the same thing, it's just a different letter, that the district is recommending
else?
There's two. One
So
of
we
the
gotta appoint
gentlemen.
two?
Yes, one of the gentlemen just passed away and they're trying to fill his position,
Okay.
and that was sent from the mayor's office.
And who votes on all this, Dan? And how does this work? How do these two get into their?
Technically, I think they get appointed by the supervisor and with the advice and consent of the board. So, I guess, they're in the packet, I'm assuming.
But these two individuals are being recommended by the board, or?
Well, this is confusing because Donald Hendrick died. Do we know, are we appointing two people tonight?
Yes, Mr. Hendrick died, and they called and then they sent the letter that they recommended that some gentleman named Mr. Summers.
Jeffrey Summers.
They had, the mayor and whoever met, and that's who they were proposing to put on.
Okay.
But they
So
were
do
all-
we have a letter from Mr. Short then?
Should be in your, no, not
No,
for sure. This is the
no, it
Maryville
came
Fire
from
Protection
Fire
District, which is a
Protection
separate
District.
unit of government.
Right, but you said the mayor.
Well, he said they met with the mayor and they were all in agreement,
Yeah.
that's what he said when he
There's,
called the office.
there's the city fire department and there's the fire
Right.
protection district. So this is the fire protection district. And, this is, I'm assuming, Bones knew about these, that these are his wishes, I'm sure. Because they're here. So we're gonna need somebody to make a motion to approve Jeffrey Summers to fill the vacant trustee position and reappoint Eric Hartline to another 3-year term.
Say that again when.
Mr. Summers is not
Right.
on the agenda.
He's not on the.
Okay, Eric Hartline. Okay, well, you're right, he's not on the agenda. Okay, so we're entertaining a motion to reappoint Eric Hartline to a 3-year term. As a trustee of Maryville Fire Protection District, we'll have to put the other gentleman.
Can I just ask it, maybe?
It's on the
No, he's
agenda, I
on there
just
already,
don't have his
vacant
name.
trustee.
I
No,
have the
Summers
vacant-
is not.
No, but
Summers
the
is not on
vacant
the
trustee
agenda.
position.
But I
Oh,
have
there's a
vote on the
line.
Maryville Fire
The
Protection
vacant.
District vacant trustee position.
Okay.
It is on there.
So-
Let's do that one.
I guess my question is, Eric's still gonna be on the board
Well,
if we don't reappoint him or not this meeting? Just because someone's term runs out.
I don't know the rules. I don't know.
I was just trying to get more clarification and maybe just put it on the agenda for next meeting and actually know what the heck we're doing here, but move ahead
Well-
how you want.
Yeah, let's just do one at a time. On the agenda, it says vote on Maryville Fire Protection District vacant trustee position. Since Mr. Donald Hedrick passed away at age 95, the fire district is requesting that Jeffrey Summers be appointed to replace the vacant trustee position. Would somebody like to make a motion to appoint Jeffrey Summers to fill the vacant trustee position?
Do we know anything about?
Fire Protection District's asking him to be appointed, it's in your package, that's all I know.
Right.
I saw
We
this
don't
on the
know
agenda.
anything
and I
about
didn't-
one of these people.
Huh?
Do we know either one of these people?
Eric Hartline, I know who he is. Yeah. All right, you make the motion?
If they're being recommended, I'm looking for it here, if they're being recommended by the district, I'll go along with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here it is, okay. I'll
The
second.
long letter is the one we're voting on.
Okay.
Okay?
Who made the
Motion by
motion?
Mr. Stack.
You made the motion.
Second by Mr. Cox. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Stack? Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes. All right. Next item is we'll entertain a motion to reappoint Eric Hartline to a 3-year term. He is, there's a letter in your packet. He's been a trustee since 1985 and is saying he'd like to be reappointed to serve another term. Anybody like to make that motion?
And do we have a letter from the Fire Protection District,
Well-
the endorsement of him?
Yeah.
We do? It's in there as well, Eric
No,
is?
It's a letter
Right on top
from
of the other
him.
end.
It's
It's
a
a letter-
letter.
No, it's a letter from him, it's
Right.
not,
Oh.
Yeah, but
it'd be like nominate me for president, I mean, so, I mean, I'm not saying Eric's not a great guy, I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean,
But I think once you're on the board, that you request to be reappointed.
That's how it's been done in the
Right.
past.
Oh,
They
okay.
request themselves.
So since the other one passed away, that's why they wrote this letter for this other gentleman.
Okay? Make the motion, Mr. Stack makes the motion. Mr. Cox?
I'll second
Mr. Cox seconds, roll call vote please.
Trustee Stack?
Aye.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes. Assessor's comment, anybody here from the assessor's office? No? Okay, road commissioner, Mr. Tricano.
Well, we're doing everything we can with the ground as wet as it is. We can't do any dirt work or any ditching. We're concentrating on trimming trees. We finally got done with the vacuuming of the leaves. We had a lot of rain this year and it's been wet for a long time. That's about it.
That's it?
If we have any complaints, we act on them.
Well, keep up the good work on the snow and ice, because I think, like I said it before and I'll say it again, I get people texting me and thanking me for a great job you're doing. I tell them I have nothing to do with it. So, thank you though. I kind of feel like Brandon, but I'm not in public. Yes, thank you.
I would like to say something as far as the supervisor's office. I know the ladies were talking about Brandon and how safe they feel with having him around. In the last month or so, we've had a lot of issues with some homeless people, and I want to thank the board for spending the money to put the security door in our place, because one of the gentlemen went to the food pantry and pulled out a machete and was going to attack someone. So everybody needs to be very cautious and careful when you leave here, whether it's daytime, and this was during the day, this was like at lunchtime. So we just need to be very careful. But I do want to thank the board for putting the security system in. And we also had the armed intruder training at the office, so maybe that is something that you guys could do down here, so you can figure out if somebody comes in that you have a safe place that you can go. You know, everybody.
Absolutely.
It might help.
Okay. I'd like to thank everybody for attending tonight. Motion to adjourn, anybody? Mr. Sack? Second by Mr. Cox. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All right. Can I ask you a general question? Is there any financial liability to the Maryville Fire Protection District? I was gonna ask that too. Is it volunteer? All volunteer?
Well, that, I mean, Collins was a part of it. Since their board, since their boundaries lie in 2 counties, that's made by the county board chairman. Maryville is within our township completely.
That's why.
It's just, yeah, the law reads it's clear.